Iron Brew sponsors Super League on Sky Sports.
A remarkable job so far. Can Terry Matterson now clinch a playoff place a year after finishing bottom of the pile? And Joe Westerman's goal gave the Tigers the lead at Leeds, but it didn't last. Brian Noble knows better than anyone how to negotiate the playoffs all the way to Old Trafford. Wigan will be in the mix again, and the youngsters are blossoming. Mark Flanagan, the latest rising star. It has been a significant weekend already. The top two have changed and the clubs lying third and fourth have exchanged places. Castleford and Wigan now do battle, the Tigers seeking the win that would just about confirm their place in the playoffs. It's the final match of the weekend. Friday saw wins for Hull, Salford, St Helens and Wakefield. On Saturday, Leeds took full advantage of Celtic Crusaders' problems. And earlier on today, Bradford 42, Catalan Dragons 18. So the table and Leeds have hit the front, having markedly improved their points for and against tally in Newport. Huddersfield's narrow defeat with that much-changed side at Saints means that they drop a place as Hull KR took the spoils at Salford. Wakefield are in the playoffs, Wigan probably are, despite what happens here, but a point will make it mathematically certain. Catalan Dragons still sweating on their playoff place, as are Castleford, but they'll just about be home and hosed if they win here. But Warrington and Harlequins, they will be cheering Wigan on tonight. If the Tigers lose, the door is still slightly ajar for them. Well, the Castleford Tigers are aiming to avoid a third successive defeat after winning all four in July, including an epic 40 points to 38 defeat of Bradford at Odsal. The wheels really have come off in August. Wigan, well, they beat Warrington 36-16 last week, so it's 6 wins from their last 7 now. Their only Super League defeat was that 10-6 reverse against St Helens, thanks to a last-minute try from Kyle Eastmond. This is the way the sides will line up on what is a very humid evening here in West Yorkshire. McGoldrick is the full-back for Castleford, and they're just about at full strength. Dixon, Shenton, Evans and Wainwright. Rangi Chase, who's celebrating a new 4-year deal that he signed this week, is alongside Brent Sherwin. The forwards, Sargent, Hudson, who captains the side at hooker, and Hubie, Ferris, Jones and Westerman. And on the bench it's Clayton, Higgins, Boyle and Widders for the coach, Terry Matterson. Wigan Warriors, they named the same 17 that took on and beat Warrington last week. Phelps, Roberts, Gleeson, Carmont, Richards, Sam Tompkins and Lulawai. Forwards, Coley, Riddell and Prescott, Hanson, Joel Tompkins and O'Loughlin, the captain, with Fielden, Palliasina, Mossop and Flanagan on the bench, and the coach, Brian Noble. Well, a few interested spectators here, of course, who are not in the Castleford Tigers lineup at the moment, and that is Jamie Langley, of course, on the right of your screen, from the Bradford Bulls, who have done a pretty good job at home today against the Catalan Dragons. All the Bradford Bulls, by the looks of things, has turned up here to cheer who on, I wonder? Castleford Tigers, 2 points clear of Warrington and Harlequins, 3 to go as they chase a playoff place for the first time since 2002, which involved only the top 6. That was their last appearance in the series, and they lost 26-14 at Wigan that year. Now, can Wigan kick on until the end of the season? As Castleford try and recover from that club record defeat at Leeds, 12 points to 76. Brian Noble believes that Sean O'Loughlin and his men will be involved in a match that really is like a playoff here. Victory would put them 4 points clear of their closest rivals, just 2 to go, and one of them, Castleford, welcome the Celtic Crusaders to the jungle in the final round of the competition. The Castleford coach, Terry Matterson, in his matches against Wigan as a player and a coach, he hasn't done badly. Man of the match in the World Club Challenge of 1992 when Brisbane beat them 22 points to 8. His touchline conversion for London secured an 18-all draw at Central Park 4 years later that effectively cost Wigan the inaugural Super League title. And in meetings with Wigan as a coach, Terry Mattison has lost only once. So it is a big opportunity for Castleford here tonight. Steve Ganson is the match referee. He's waiting in the middle to get this game underway. As I say, a bit hot, a bit humid.
Okay, boys.
Some storm clouds overhead, but let's hope we don't get any thunder and lightning or anything like that. Castleford against Wigan. There should be enough fireworks out on the pitch. Wigan just about in the playoffs. Mathematically, they need a point. Castleford, well, they just about will be if they win here. We're underway. And as always, a magnificent pitch, and it's always a great atmosphere down here at the Jungle, Steve-O.
Certainly is, Eddie, and I must say that Wigan realise that they'll get a little bit of a kickback in regards to Castleford. They really got hammered last week. Their coach, Terry Mattison, would have been working pretty hard on their defensive line. Time and time again, split open in and around the play, the ball area, so you should see an improvement from the Tigers tonight. If not, Wigan, they've got all the class out there to really put them to the sword.
Prescott driving it forward on the fourth tackle. Riddell is the dummy half. He finds a Lachlan, and a Lachlan from inside the 40-metre mark goes for a 40-20, but that's far too long, although Ryan McGoldrick will have to run it out of the in-goal area.
Castleford will be happy to have their hands on the ball, and even though they're being driven backwards, you know, in the last 20 minutes of that match you spoke about last week against Leeds, they did not touch the ball other than to kick off after the 7 tries that the Rhinos scored. It was an amazing period of rugby league where one team completely dominated the game, and I think they'll want to build some confidence again here early in possession.
Yes, Terry Mattison hoping that he can patch up a few battered egos and come up with a performance that he and his supporters will savour. As I say, if they win here, they will just about have secured their playoff appearance for 2009, which is a truly remarkable achievement when you consider they finished with the wooden spoon in Super League in 2008 as they came up from the lower division. Kick straight down the middle of the field is not the best. That's straight into the arms of Cameron Phelps. The Wigan full-back will run it back, and he gets as far as Westerman and Stuart Jones.
Well, the return of the halfback Brent Sherwin will certainly boost the Tigers' chances tonight, but that was not the best kick. A little bit rusty at times, and no doubt that Wigan will target him, especially when he goes out wide in the defensive line.
Harrison Hansen gives the ball to George Carmont. Carmont, while the Wigan players were on the field warming up, was in the dressing room. I don't know whether he has had an injection in an ankle problem, but there was certainly some repair work being done for Carmont inside the dressing room just immediately before the kick-off. Riddell to O'Loughlin. That's Sam Tompkins, or the short pass looking for brother Joel is spilled, and Mitchell Sargent has it for the Castleford Tigers.
Well, Joel just overrun it slightly. Good opportunity there, quick hands.
Here come the Tigers then. This is a big opportunity for them. Starting this set of 6 on the halfway line, Stuart Jones, who of course once upon a time played for Wigan at the start of his career 7 years ago in 2002. Ryan Hudson, and this is Craig Hubie. Oh, and he's taken on Riddell. He nearly beat Riddell as well, but Riddell came back with Gleeson to pull him down. Brent Sherwin, Rangi Chase, great favourite here, Rangi Chase, but that's not the best pass he's put in during the course of this year, looking for Kirk Dixon, and all he did was find the touchline.
Well, in the latter part of the season, it's been Rangi Chase that really has been the star for the Tigers, but a woeful effort on that occasion.
Evans just gave up on the run though, didn't he? They created the space, there was a hole for him to go into, but Evans hit the brakes, and disappointingly for the Tigers, massive chance gone.
Can Brian Noble inspire Wigan like he did Bradford in 2005 when they embarked on a 12-match winning sequence at the end of the season that culminated with their 15-6 grand final win against the champions, the Leeds Rhinos?
Well, not the best offload there. It really put Sam Tompkins under a lot of pressure. Nearly came up with the error. Pretty solid tackling though by Castleford. We anticipated this.
Joel Tompkins got the ball away to Mark Riddell, but he was immediately tackled by Shenton. Here's Joel Tompkins again. Big hit by Craig Hubie, finished off by 2 more. Hudson and Westerman it was. Now Sean O'Loughlin, the Wigan skipper. No way through. Solid Castleford defence so far. Riddell to Luluai, kicking early in the tackle count, going for a 40-20, but McGoldrick, he saw to it that was not going to go anywhere near the whitewash, and Ryan McGoldrick runs the ball back bravely for Castleford, offloads.
Well, not the best kick, but I must say that the chase from Wigan was extremely poor. Brian Noble will get the message out there that was one big hit, wasn't it? Oh, Prescott did not miss him.
Wainwright felt that. This now is Mitchell Sargent.
Bang! Get the shoulder right into that.
Ryan Hudson and Rangi Chase. Stuart Jones driving it forward. Riddell and Hansen coping with that particular threat. Hudson again, Rangi Chase. Westerman trying to go through the hole, went without it.
They'll take the first knock on.
Okay.
No advantage to Wigan.
Yeah, just call through that.
Well, you just get the feeling that both sides just trying to test each other out. Westerman running out wide. It was well spotted.
Very noticeable that Rangi Chase getting his hands on the ball as much as he can, and you'll see Wigan target him whenever they've got the ball. They're coming onto Castleford's right and trying to make him do a little bit more in defence than he's used to and comfortable with.
Cass, out.
Luluai feeds the scrum and then gets the pass away to Pat Richards.
Move, Michael, hold, don't make.
Cameron Phelps is waiting at dummy half this time. Gets the ball away to Mark Riddell. And he delays the pass and then goes for the gap himself before he's collared and brought down by Joe Westerman, the 2008 Young Player of the Year, of course. Westerman finding it a little bit more difficult, I would venture to suggest, in 2009 than he did in his first season back in the big time, but he's still an immense talent for all of that. Here is Andy Coley.
Pretty quick defence by the Tigers, coming out wide, forcing Wigan down the centre. A lot of one-out football at the moment.
Riddell was caught in two minds then. He went right, then turned round and came left and gave it to Luluai, who was promptly cleared out. Now, it is O'Loughlin who spins the kick towards the touchline, and it goes touching goal, so Castleford will restart on the 20-metre line.
Well, neither side getting the radar right. That's for sure. It wasn't the best from Sean O'Loughlin. And you just get a feeling also that the Tigers, they're perhaps getting over the advantage line a little bit more effectively than their opposition. That's good running from the dummy half.
Move.
Hudson waiting at dummy half again for Castleford. Finds Mitchell Sargent.
Third.
And Sargent is grounded by Coley and Prescott. Hudson to McGoldrick. Brent Sherwin, the pass not the best. Shenton had to retreat, got to the halfway line before he was eventually brought down by Tompkins and Amos Roberts. Lost a little bit of momentum there, did the Tigers. Can they regain it now with Ryan McGoldrick? It's the last tackle here for Castleford, 40 metres away.
It's going to be a good one as well. Oh, plenty of height, but that's a little bit too long. That should be easy for Phelps.
It is, it was too deep. And Cameron Phelps will begin the counter-attack, but is halted by Mitchell Sargent's tackle.
Go.
You know, Eddie, if you're a Wigan player, you've got to ride through this tough patch. It's only human that Castleford, having conceded 76 points last week, would be pumped up in front of their own supporters. They're too proud a club not to play here with some passion. And you know that the opening 10 to 15 minutes, they're going to give you everything they've got. We're going to have to match that, though. It's no point feeling sorry for yourselves. One or two Wigan players look a little flat at present.
After that defeat last week, only Salford and the Celtic Crusaders have now conceded more points than Castleford. They're at the bottom of the table. Castleford are knocking on the door of a possible playoff place. Sam Tompkins and Luluai.
Hold on.
And the kick straight to Kirk Dixon. And the former Hull man will run it back. 2-year deal signed by Kirk Dixon last month.
Well, it looks to me that Brian Noble thinks that it's a bit of a weak link in this Tigers outfit. That's the second occasion they've pinpointed getting the ball to this man, Kirk Dixon.
Sherwin pops the ball up. No way through there. It's Wigan's turn to defend resolutely. Hubie, surrounded by 3 blue jerseys. Down he goes. That's the fourth. Just on halfway. Sherwin fires the pass wide, and it's dropped and picked up by Sam Tompkins, and Sam Tompkins will go all the way for Wigan and will go over for the first try of the match. I don't think there's any doubt about the way that ball came out, and the referee agrees. The try is given to Wigan. Sam Tompkins, first to react to the mistake on the far side. 8th match in a row at standoff for the 20-year-old. He drew a blank last week against Warrington, but he scored tries in each of his previous 3 matches. Rich vein of form. He's in the side, of course, because Tim Smith, his season is over, and he's really filling the gap brilliantly.
Well, this is the 3rd poor pass that we've seen from Castleford tonight. Far too high. He was Johnny on the spot, wasn't it, Sam Tompkins? He knew he had the legs, knew he had the pace. Always going to score the try. Teddy Madison going to try to sort this out. You can see there that Shenton had to jump up into the air to try to get that pass, and it was a gift for this fella, young Sam Tompkins.
Well done, Robbers. I'll have a word with him, Golden.
Yes, Sam Tompkins, he's enjoyed a very good season.
I'll just watch him.
And had a little taste of international football when he went as travelling reserve with the English to Paris earlier this year. Bound to be one of the names that Tony Smith will be considering, you would think, for the 4 Nations. Pat Richards, Super League's top point scorer the last 2 years, but he has missed with his first conversion attempt tonight. The Irish international, Castleford 0, Wigan 4.
Well, very sloppy handling indeed by the home side and the coach Terry Mattison. He'll be furious with that. Look at that, not the best from Brent Sherwin. That's the 3rd on the trot. And they can't afford to give Wigan a start like that.
Ball high from the kick-off. The rain briefly falling.
Move! Hold!
We hope it's only brief anyway. It's one of those summer showers
Surrender!
that have been far too prevalent this year again in the north of England. I know it's been a glorious day around the Oval for various reasons. And we must say on the Sky Sports Super League programmes, well done to England for getting the Ashes back today on Sky Sports Live. Fantastic achievement by the England team. Let's hope England Rugby League team do the same in the 4 Nations come the end of the campaign. O'Loughlin to Carmont, loses the ball. James Evans picks it up and gives it to Dixon.
Wonderful defence there from Rangi Chase. Got very, very low indeed. Made sure that the ball would be spilled.
Well, the mistake from Wigan means that Castleford now with an opportunity in this set of 6. Hubie will drive it in. Prescott doing a lot of work defensively already in the opening 12 minutes of this match. Paliasina and Fielden, of course, waiting to come on. Good work from Rangi Chase, but Carmont stuck to him like glue. He'll play the ball here to Dixon. Dixon then a looping pass will find Westerman. Westerman will come back this way, spins out of trouble, but Luluai was waiting. Hudson. And here is McGoldrick. Finds Sherwin, stepped away from Gleeson, got the ball away eventually. Hubie offloads. Enterprising play from Castleford. Ferris just couldn't get through. It's the last tackle, 12 metres away from the line. Castleford will look for a second set here. That's a great kick. Oh, and it's not back, it's a try. No, it isn't. I think that was a knock-on. It was. And Steve Ganson has signalled that. It's a knock-on against Wigan. It's going to be a goal line dropout, this.
Well, this should have been a try. Carmont has actually poked the ball. Was he taken out up in the air? That's what they've got to decide. But there you see Evans. Evans says, I'm going to score here. This is a soft try for me. And Carmont says, oh, no, you ain't. Boy, that is a valuable steal.
Yeah. All right. Just cut the 10 minutes.
That's tremendous work, isn't it? Real quick thinking. Phelps might have been taken out in the air, but wow. Wonderful defence and really quick thinking there from George Carmont. Sargent then will run it back. Castleford.
This fella's been strong all year for Castleford. Went to the Leeds versus Castleford game last week, sorry. And he was one of those players that never gave up. 26 games this year for him. Just constantly jamming that ball in, turning up, being very, very honest in defence.
Yes, and in the match with Wigan in February at the JJB Stadium, he came up with a real hit on Stuart Fielden.
Looking a little bit light on that left-hand side as Castleford attack. Oh, that's a given penalty. Messing around in the play the ball area by Sean O'Loughlin. No, a bit of confusion if they are going to go for the quick tap.
They are the first penalty of the match. Hubie will run this ball forward, and they're right underneath the Wigan post now. This is a great opportunity for them. Hudson finds Sargent. Solid defence from O'Loughlin.
Hold. Go.
Hudson again fires the pass to Sherwin. Here's the danger man for Castleford. Gives it to McGoldrick as he slipped. Hudson shoots into dummy half again. Here is Sherwin. Now it's Rangi Chase. Chase then to Stuart Jones. Jones finds Evans. And Evans, oh, come on, great pass. Oh, hang on, Dixon's foot's in touch.
Yep.
Well, it's a wonderful pass, and it looked like a try for all money. But then Dixon, he just slid over the whitewash.
Well, you can see there that the winger is completely out of position.
Well done, lads.
The opportunity was there.
Andy, 10.
And just got his foot
10 metres.
over the whitewash before he gets the ball down.
You know, there are several things you need to get right if you want to win a game of rugby league, and certainly if you want to get to the grand final. Defending close to your own try line is one of those, and probably, I would argue, the most important aspect of a game of rugby league. The rules state that both sides get time with possession, and eventually your opponents will get close to your try line. You have to be able to defend your line and hold out for the 6 tackles or more. They've done that here now, Wigan. They get a relieving penalty, takes them up to the halfway line.
Wait for the goal call, pal.
Yes, they're all offside. The Castleford Tigers, as you could see there, it's a little worry here for Terry Mattison. And
Way out, pal.
the fact that Pat Richards is in the Wigan side, these penalties and these goal line dropouts that he comes up with, booming kicks every time, and he's just gained Wigan about 40 metres territory downfield. That's why they're in this position here with Harrison Hansen, midway inside the Castleford Tigers half. He goes down on the second tackle. Mark Riddell waits at dummy half. And he'll come down this side, finds Luluai. Luluai then finds Carmont. Carmont thinks about a possible offload, can't get the ball away.
Go.
So he plays it to O'Loughlin. Now Hansen. Here's Luluai, saw a gap. It was filled desperately by Ferris.
Hold. Go. Joe, come on, mate.
Sam Tompkins licks the pass to Martin Gleeson. Last tackle here for Wigan.
Good tackle by Sargent, the prop. Interfering. And I think he's got every right to it.
And run it is the signal from Brian Noble. Don't even think about the two.
Play the ball.
Interference at the play the ball, a Wigan penalty. And it's forward, that pass from Coley to Luluai. What a waste.
Yep, Coley looks absolutely mystified. And I think you'll find that it's maybe 50-50.
I'm not sure, Steve-O.
Yeah, I'm with you, Barry. 50-50. Either way, that's how it was seen by the man with the whistle, Steve Ganson.
We're starting to see more forwards passing Eddie in rugby league. It sort of went out to the game. Forwards' job was just to take it forward and make some ground. But the ability of a forward to pass the ball to a back running at pace, we see James Graham doing it so often for St Helens. There are several more, some doing it here tonight.
Yeah, but if you pass it, you've got to pass it correctly. Here's Rangi Chase. Good run from him. In the end, Wigan, I was going to say tie him up, but they don't. He gets the ball away spectacularly. Hudson, Liam Higgins just on. Down he goes on the third tackle. Ferris again for Castleford. They're on halfway as they play the ball there to Ryan Hudson. This is Rangi Chase. Now it's with McGoldrick. Showed it to Evans. It's not McGoldrick, I beg your pardon, it's Westerman. Last tackle here for Castleford. Hudson. Chase going all the way, or hoping to. Ball comes out. Wigan have it back. Another good defensive set for Wigan. They have defended their goal line again.
Not a bad effort, though, was it, by the standoff Rangi Chase? They went for the power play.
Stand up.
Just nearly caught the defence there, threw the dummy, but they got the numbers back. Tried to offload, unsuccessful.
Go.
Coley plays the ball. Riddell. Cameron Phelps. Castleford asking Wigan to score a length of the field try in this set of 6 if they're going to get over their line. Riddell. That looked forward to O'Loughlin. Riddell then finds Harrison Hansen. He hangs on. That's the last good defence from Castleford now. Parmonto, he went out looking for his winger, and his winger was there. Richards stood behind him. Not the best kick from Richards. Oh, but it's come up for Roberts.
And that's forward.
It's out of the field anyway.
That'll be the last turnover on the last one there. Well, sheer panic setting in the Wigan ranks there.
Class tackle, mate.
It was left to Pat Richards eventually to get the kick away, and it was well taken by Amos Roberts, but just not a good pass at the end there. If he got to it, Martin Gleeson is not the fastest on the field tonight. I'm sure he would have been racing away.
Bottom of the table last year. Castleford have surpassed the expectations of even their most ardent supporters in 2009. And a top 8 finish would be a massive achievement for everybody concerned with this club. And they're bang on course for it, even though they're 4-0 down. They probably only need another victory to be almost safe, and they play the Celtic Crusaders in the last match of the season here. Although Warrington and Harlequins would argue about that at this particular moment in time. It's with Chase again. Sherwin on the inside, and McGoldrick went without it.
It was on as well. McGoldrick, the full-back, should have launched himself over the line there. It was a beautiful delayed pass, just couldn't handle it.
Fielded or cut down by a great Mitchell Sargent tackle. Felt that, the Wigan substitute. This is Riddell. Mike McAloran, by the way, is back and fit again, but didn't get the nod from Brian Noble today. He played in the reserves. Just needed a match, the Wigan coach felt, which means a lot of work for...
Oh, something's happening in back play. Touch judge is on. O'Loughlin, I think it is taking a knock.
No, it's Sam Tompkins.
Sam Tompkins, is it?
I think it's Mitchell Sargent.
Something went on.
Yeah.
Well, it was after Tompkins offloaded the football.
Let's just start gaining treatment.
Oh, it was a shoulder there by the big fella, Mitchell Sargent. Well spotted by the touch judge. It was way back in play.
Yeah.
And I think a few words are going to be said to this fella.
I don't know if it's a late challenge on a man who's kicking the ball. It's an automatic sin binning, but that's almost, if not worse. I mean, that's off the ball.
Yeah. What teams try to do, Eddie, they try to make players that handle the ball get up off the floor as many times as they can. Sometimes when they pass the ball, get them on the floor and make them get up a little bit too long.
Careful. You've got to put the incident on report. Penalties going to
there are ways and means to do that.
Okay, mate. All right, okay.
And I think he's rather fortunate. On report, I don't think he really had anything further after that. It was nothing malicious. Certainly put the young fella down on his backside, just a shoulder, wasn't it?
It's a late challenge with the shoulder.
Nothing malicious, no?
As I say, sometimes teams go into a game and they say, look, if we let this guy play in a dinner suit, you've heard that expression before, then he'll run the show. So we need to get him dirty.
Here's Paliasina. Was powerful with ball in hand last week. The offloads and the traditional runs from him a lot more effective than they were against Warrington in the semi. Now it's Fielden. And Fielden goes down on the second tackle. Tompkins. Looks like he's recovered. Gleeson slips the net of one. Fortunately for Castleford, Shenton was there. Here is Joel Tompkins. Back it comes to Sean O'Loughlin. Now Thomas Lulawai bounces off Rangi Chase. Good run from Thomas Lulawai. And they're claiming Wigan. He's got the ball down. And Steve Ganson wants the video referee Thierry Alibert, the Frenchman, to just check the grounding.
I think it's knocked away just at the vital moment. It's a forearm that's controlling the football. Here it comes. Is it? Is it? Is it? Yeah, I think it might be.
Could be given this.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Slow motion replay.
I think he loses control of it on one of the Castleford legs.
No, I think that's down.
I think it comes away from his grasp. I might be wrong. It's rolling along that leg.
It's rolling along the forearm as well.
Does Dixon knock it away?
It does eventually, but has he got the ball down before Dixon gets the knee into it?
No, I think that's no try.
I think it is a try, and I think he's probably the most dangerous player in this competition today, running at defenders close to try line. He is dynamically so powerful.
Well, let's see what Thierry Alibert has made of all of this. It's his decision. And Thomas Lulawai watching the big screen, as everyone in this ground is. And here comes Thierry Alibert's decision. The try is given to Thomas Lulawai. The World Cup winner from New Zealand, of course, Thomas Lulawai, ever present. He has managed to try in the last 2 games as well, both against Warrington. A try against Castleford in February, a try here against Castleford last year, and a try here tonight that doubles the Wigan lead. It is 8-0, and the kick from Pat Richards from almost in front of the posts to come.
Well, they got the advantage with the penalty, and it was a late challenge by Mitchell Sargent that got them way downfield. And then one of the few times that Wigan have really asked the question of this Castleford defence. Back on the inside, look how it just pushes off. Not the best effort there by Rangi Chase, went far too high, and what a finish. This is a wonderful effort. He gets it down just before Kirk Dixon's knee, shift the ball away.
Richards this time adds the extras, and we're going to have built a 10-0 lead.
It was like an escapologist, wasn't it? Getting out of the suit really as he wrestled through those defenders. He's so good, isn't he? And he was before he actually came to Wigan, down at the Harlequins club, running at players close to the line, spinning one way, twists, he's tied up that way, twists the other, scores there. 2 well taken tries for Wigan, 2 chances to score, 2 tries.
And Thomas Lulawai scoring a try very similar to that in the cup semi-final against Warrington 2 weeks ago, if memory serves. He was almost running backwards and had the strength to be able to spin and turn and plonk the ball down. It nearly got Wigan back into the match, but it's got them a 10-point lead here. And George Carmont. Do you get the feeling that they're building momentum heading into the playoffs, this Wigan side?
Well, they've been very fortunate, haven't they? It's very rare in rugby league, Eddie, to be able to pick the same 1 to 17 for 2 consecutive matches.
Oh,
They've
great
done
ball
that.
from Joel Tompkins. This is Sean O'Loughlin. The support arrives from Phelps. Oh, Phelps, it's dropped, and it went forward, and it's dropped anyway under pressure from Wainwright by Carmont. Wigan have blown a glorious opportunity there.
They certainly have. It was a wonderful inside pass, wasn't it, that put O'Loughlin through an enormous gap. Well, this was a problem for the Tigers last week against Leeds, and fair credit to them, they got back in numbers and forced the error.
Okay, mate.
Oh, that was good stuff, wasn't it? Good work by Shenton here to get back and just knock the ball away. It looked as though Phelps was streaking towards the sticks.
I think it was a glorious inside pass from Joel Tompkins, I think. It certainly opened the door for Sean O'Loughlin. It's a penalty here for Castleford now.
Here's the interference, Sean O'Loughlin on the back of Dixon.
You shouldn't be there, mate. Then he can't.
It's been a long time since Brent Sherwin played in the first team. I think it's 13 weeks. Now, it's taken him some time here to get back into the commander role that he used to play for the Castleford Tigers. More possession has gone to Rangi Chase. But I guess as the game wears on, the Tigers need to give the ball to Sherwin more.
Here they've given it to Liam Higgins. Quickly down to Bill with news on Sam Tompkins.
Yeah, Sam Tompkins a bit subdued at the moment, normally an effervescent character for Wigan, but he did get a bang on the jaw in that collision with Mitchell Sargent, and he's still been just feeling that area a little bit tenderly. So Sam Tompkins a bit shaken up.
McGoldrick for Castleford pops it up to Rangi Chase. A little hop, skip and a jump in front of the would-be defender, and a drive in here from Ryan Boyle. Last tackle for Castleford. Wigan being asked to defend their own try line again. Sherwin, just a little fumble. High kick looking for the big man. Oh, clipped out of the air by Dixon. Great try. If he's onside,
Check he's onside on
that's
the
what
top
Steve Ganson will ask Thierry Alibert to check for. But Dixon just sailed above Pat Richards then. Richards has got height on Dixon, but Dixon had the momentum, running, looking for the football.
Okay, mate.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Oh, talk about picking the pocket. Beautiful kick there. Sherwin launches it into the corner. Richards went far too early. Dixon didn't. Thank you very much indeed. Tigers back in this game when it looked at a time that the Warriors are going to start taking control. Boy, did they need that Terry Madison will be a very relieved man. And Mr. Dixon is extremely excited.
And so he should be, because I'm sure this will be a try, and it is for Kirk Dixon. And that's a great effort from him, because Pat Richards is normally the man who diffuses everything up in the air for Wigan and does that up the other end when the ball is floated out wide for him to attempt to score a try. But Kirk Dixon, his 2-year deal has only just had the ink dry on it in the past month. He missed last week, injured, only the second absence of the year. And, well, that's breathed a little bit of life into the Tigers.
They needed something special, and it came from the halfback, Brent Sherwin. It's all about the timing. As you can see, Richards went early. Dixon, absolutely superb. Wasn't the best pass either. Been a problem for the Tigers tonight, but not on this occasion. Stuck like glue.
Westerman then. He's got the goal-kicking job back again. He's got 31 goals from 33 kicks. He's got 31 goals from 34 kicks. It just knocks his average a little bit. But coming into this game, he had a 94% success rate. Joe Westerman, the Young Player of the Year in 2008, has just missed with his first here tonight.
It's amazing how they take a good opportunity, Wigan. Remember, they could have scored. Sherwin just got the kick away in time. Boy, that was super to watch.
Well done, Kirk Dixon. The Sky Sports commentary team, by the way, this afternoon met a young man called Matthew Lemon, and he's cycling all to the Super League and Championship grounds in the next 8 days. He started on Friday. His trip ends at Wembley on Saturday prior to the Challenge Cup final. 450 miles, cycling for the Yorkshire Cancer Centre and for the St Gemma's Hospice in Leeds. We wished him well, and we continue to wish him well, as we do also to the former Wigan stars like Steve Hampson and Gary Connolly, who are involved in another big charity event at the moment. The boys are all cycling from Perpignan to Wembley. They're rowing up the Thames. They're running through the capital to the stadium on a Saturday. So watch out for all the fundraisers that are going on this week. And, well, try and support them generously if you possibly can. They're all for some very, very good causes. Rangi Chase.
Well, you could see Rangi Chase, he just threw the dummy, but there was no second phase. He was dinking back in the inside. They've got to start reading his play.
Sherwin again, hoist the bomb. Here's another tester for Phelps and co. Phelps this time gets it.
Boy, it was heavy traffic.
He took control of that situation because Richards, he must have thought, oh no, here we go again.
Well, it was a good call, wasn't it? Cameron Phelps said it's mine all the time. Look, he had his eyes on the ball.
Paliasina. Good, solid run again. He is so effective going forward.
Is even more effective though, Ed, if you can get him going, running forward, getting on the advantage line and playing the ball quickly.
Yes. The one thing that certain clubs do very well though is, because he's such a big man, they target him when they have the ball, and they take a little bit of juice out of him. Forward pass again against Wigan.
Well, it's spreading. Castleford went through a period, and not the best by Harrison Hansen. Good pressure though by Rangi Chase. Brought that error about.
10th start for Harrison Hansen in the second row in succession. New Zealand international, and of course with Samoa in the World Cup. Brent Sherwin now for the tie. Whoa, Dixon, that's a big hit by O'Loughlin.
Talk about picking him out. That had a huge red cross on it.
Ferris for Castleford. He goes down. Look at this. Oh. Sherwin again. Always scheming. They've missed him, haven't they? Brent Sherwin. He's played a big part in the win at Wigan in February, but he's missed the last 11. He's had a broken foot, as Phil rightly said. There he is. Stuart Jones, Chase. Here's Higgins.
Again, very well-controlled defence by Wigan. Non's coming out of the line. They're moving up as a unit. Here's the kick through.
Oh, McGoldrick's after it. And Roberts to the rescue.
Super pressure, though, wasn't it? He read it well, Amos Roberts. He had to as well. Dinked right the way through, and it looked as though the fullback McGoldrick was going to get there first. But he was the one that got to the ball when it counted.
Wigan looked very secure and safe in defending the first 5 tackles, but when that kick comes through, there is an air of vulnerability. They've conceded more tries from kicks than any other team in Super League, and I suppose as they progress towards the playoffs and hope for the grand final, it's one of the fine areas that they need to improve on.
That kick from Pat Richards from underneath his own sticks reaches halfway again, and it allows Wigan to race from the line and only give Castleford 10 metres forward. There they are now in the second tackle.
It's amazing, the Tigers are utilising the forwards nearly all the time and then waiting to the 3rd or 4th play before they get it out wide, and it's a great ball.
It is from Sherwin to Ferris. Chase to Sherwin to Ferris. And Steve Ganson is asking Thierry Oliver to have a little look at a possible obstruction in the build-up to this. But I must say, to the naked eye, it looked absolutely first class.
Good solid work by the forwards. And when you hang off Rangi Chase there, you can see that O'Loughlin's been sucked in. That means there's got to be a gap out wide. Has the man run into him? I don't think so.
Seen them chalked off for this year.
I think that's just a bad read by O'Loughlin, that. He has enough time. I think probably if he turns the other way, he puts his back to play.
Oh, they're checking the grounding. This is going to be given.
Yeah, beautiful play.
It deserves the try because it was inventive stuff from Chase and Sherwin. Went through a big hole, did Brett Ferris. And Brett Ferris, well, there's only Steve Menzies and Tony Pulatua who have scored more as forwards in the Engage Super League this year than Brett Ferris. That's his 10th of 2009. The England international, he won his caps in his time with the Bradford Bulls. And, well, there we go. He has given Castleford their second try. They're back within 2 points, and this kick to come.
Wonderful combination. First chase. You can see out there O'Loughlin's being pulled through. Gleeson had no option but to try to take the man, which was Sherwin. And Ferris comes through. Oh, like an express train. Gleeson couldn't do anything. 2-on-1. Ferris went through an enormous gap.
Joe Westerman with another difficult conversion attempt from way out on the far touchline. Oh, and he's hit the other post this time. Well, he's been so close, and he's furious because he knows if those had gone 4 inches the other side on both occasions, Castleford now would hold the lead. As it is, Ferris's try is not converted, and it's Wigan 10, Castleford Tigers 8.
Well, that's the first opportunity that Wigan really have lacked communication. And the loose forward, Sean O'Loughlin, was left wanting. He came right inside, thought that the dummy runner was going to receive it. Bit of a problem for Brian Noble.
Steve-O, it's nomination, then re-nomination. Sean O'Loughlin made the bad call, and if he would have nominated that next Castleford player, it would have freed up Gleeson to make the challenge.
Here comes Ryan Boyle again, but he doesn't make too much progress. Sean O'Loughlin, the Wigan skipper, his 199th appearance for the club. 4 out, then he came back to the cup semi-final. He's played in the last 3 now. Ryan Clayton drives it forward on tackle number 3. Another Ryan Hudson is the dummy half, and another Ryan McGoldrick takes it forward.
Haven't seen much running by this fella, Ryan Hudson, though he has on that occasion.
Chase.
That could have been an obstruction, was it? And let that go in. Quite happy just to dink it through.
He was looking for the speed of Dixon down the wing, but he just didn't quite get his angle right here.
Well, it could have been obstruction there. Went behind the man and the dummy runner, pretty close to him as well. He's a tricky customer to try to put down as well when he gets full of confidence. Rangi Chase, we've already seen him do quite a few dummies, sidestep, and the combination on that last try that allowed Ferris to score was superb. Always nice to see the standoff combining with the halfback.
Former junior Kiwi, of course, is Rangi Chase. That's great defence from Castleford. Tremendous defence. Mark Flanagan was being pushed all the way back towards his own try line then. Well, they've lifted Castleford, haven't they, since that try went over in the 26th minute. It's been their period of the match for the last 10.
Third. Move.
It will please Terry Mattison. Wanted a much improved performance here today. I think he was a touch embarrassed by what he saw last week, but as Phil rightly said, for the last 25 minutes, Castleford only kicked the ball off. They never got their hands on it once at Headingley.
Well, I think there was more than just Terry Mattison that was embarrassed about last week, but it's been a far better performance so far.
Outside clear.
Well, Loughlin's kick is straight into the arms of McGoldrick. McGoldrick gets so far before the three defenders arrive. Fielden, Sam Tompkins, Harrison Hansen. Westerman.
Move.
And Wainwright struggling to get to his feet and convinces the referee that he should give a penalty.
Flanagan all over him, not allowing him any opportunity to get up quickly. He's a talent though, isn't he, this fella, Mark Flanagan?
Yes, he is. He's featured in the last four. He was on loan at Halifax last year. Former England Academy international. But Wigan with some defending to do as we approach half-time.
Probably trundle up another big boy.
Hold. Go.
Hudson and Sherwin flicks the pass. And the try scorer Ferris is underneath all of that. Ryan Hudson again. Sherwin finds Rangi Chase. That's Westerman. Oh, that was an important tackle by Sam Tompkins. It forced the ball out of the grasp of the youngster.
Great play by the Tigers, though. As we mentioned, he's gaining in confidence, isn't he? Rangi Chase, he's controlling things out there.
You can see why they've given him a 4-year contract.
Not happy.
Let's compliment Sam Tompkins there. He put a great shot on the ball, dislodging it.
Okay,
We
Sam.
compliment him about how good he is with the ball and proving he can defend and
attack.
attack.
Tight, lay his head in, Mitchell. Hold it. Nice and tight. Turn back on. Out.
So Richards now for Wigan as they try and work the ball away from their own line.
Move.
Nothing
Hold. Go.
to choose between the two sides on the scoreboard. And Castleford going 10-0 down. They have fought their way back into the match, haven't they?
And you know what? They've entertained the home supporters, sometimes although not sending them home with a happy ending. 4 times this year they've lost games by 4 points or less. There have been some real cliffhangers here. I think the Tigers supporters hoping that they win a narrow one. 2 points behind, Eddie. They want to make sure it doesn't end up that way.
Indeed so. They've got a terrible record at home though this year. 3 home wins, 9 defeats. It completely mirrors what's happened when they've been on their travels. Wigan are getting another penalty here. They've won 9 away from home, the Tigers, and had 3 defeats. Incredible, really.
Yeah, it certainly is an amazing stat. And Mr. Sargent won't get a pat on the back from his coach, Terry Mattison, for giving away a silly penalty yet again.
The 4th, and Fielden running it forward on the first tackle. Now this is an opportunity for Wigan to increase their lead as they approach half-time. That's a good run from Coley. He finds Lulawai. Here he is again, trying to spin and turn his way to the line.
Move. Good, mate.
Sean O'Loughlin finds Sam Tompkins. Tompkins, brilliant try. Second try for Sam Tompkins. The first an opportunist effort when the ball was dropped deep in his own half. And Brian Noble barking out the instructions. Mike Forshaw will take the message on. But that try from Tompkins was all down to skill and the change of direction and the drop of the shoulder. Sam Tompkins with his 2nd try of the match, and for Sam Tompkins it's his 10th try of the season.
All came about, silly play by the prop forward Mitchell Sargent, all over Gleeson. And as Eddie has mentioned, look at the dummy and the step. Sheer quality. This kid is all class. Gets through a lot of work in defence as well. He doesn't shirk it. He's not the heaviest of players, but boy, is he quick.
You know when you're watching a good player, Eddie, because they make things look easy, and in many sports, some young players and even older ones that would have a talent just make things look as if it was that simple, just catch and stroll over, almost done in 50% effort.
As Barry McDermott said, Castleford know the quality of him, but they don't want to allow him to play in a dinner suit. Well, he played in a bow tie and a tuxedo then, all right. Sam Tompkins strolled through the defence, didn't he? 16-8 Wigan. 2 tries from Sam Tompkins.
It's also having the confidence as well, and to know when a defence has just slackened off slightly. He knew as soon as he received that ball that they were going to give him the space, and as soon as he stepped through the dummy, bang, quality.
Well, we're just 8 seconds or so away from half-time. You would imagine this tackle that will come in on Fielden will be the last of this first half. There's the half-time siren. Indeed it is. And Wigan, well, they've done this, as have St Helens and Leeds over the years, right on the stroke of half-time, when the opposition must think, well, we've held them, we've got them within a couple of points. They do something special and they score right on the stroke of the half-time siren.